Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk for a minute about my case because the single biggest thing has happened in my case, and the mainstream media, for some reason, has not reported it at all, ever. So there's a lot of theories and a lot of guesses about what actually happened, and I'm going to explain the updates in the Andrew and Tristan Tate are human traffickers case. Right? I'm going to explain the update using visual references so you all understand the significance of what happened. So essentially, let me get the court statement ready, the American court. To understand how important this development is, you also have to understand my case. Because a lot of people don't actually understand my case at all. So I'm going to make it very simple with a nice visual reference. I can't say names and I can't give too many details because I'm not allowed. They're allowed to run around and say whatever they like about me, but I'm not allowed to say their name because somehow it's illegal. But that's fine. It's no problem. Here is exactly what happened in my case, according to me. Well, this is the truth. This represents a girl and her friend who were unhappy with me and Andrew because they couldn't extort us for money and decided to falsely accuse us. Now, you've all seen the screenshots from the CCTV of her leaving my house, walking around the city by herself, her text messages where she's bragged to her friends saying, I'm going to lie to the cops. It's cut and shut. This person falsely accused me. Her and her friend. So I'm going to stack this case together in a visual reference, and I'm going to tell you what the mainstream media, who haven't mentioned this victory, say about my case. So, false accusers. There's two of them. This makes up the base layer of my case. In any other usual circumstance, what would have happened is the false accusation was so obvious, a good prosecutor who does his job would say, oh, well, that's obviously fake. Nothing is going to happen about this. Okay, but the Romanians can throw you in jail while they investigate you and ruin your whole life because Romania is a system where no one really has to follow the rules. So we have my false accusers at the base of this case. Up next, on top of the false accusers, what happened is a prosecutor. The prosecutor who you've seen bragging in documentaries about how good this is for his career. The prosecutor who used my case as a platform to get a promotion to a higher division. The prosecutor who went after me and said I'm a criminal, who signed my arrest warrants despite the fact that he knew the girls were lying, because this prosecutor saw opportunity in these girls' lies. These girls lied. Basis of my case. These two lied. Clearly. I mean, the evidence is all over the internet. I didn't even leak it myself. And this prosecutor said, you know what? Obviously they're lying. And these two men are innocent. But if I can somehow make a case about human trafficking and find these men guilty, it's going to be good for me in my career. So this guy decides to try to ruin mine and Andrew's life. So prosecutor goes on top of the false accusers, okay? So what the prosecutor does when he's on top of these false accusers is he throws me in prison. When I'm thrown in prison, the mainstream media narrative is, oh, they're suspected of human trafficking. This is serious. And the prosecutor thought, I need to make some sort of case on these boys. So what he did was, the next layer are imaginary victims. These go on top of the prosecutor. He said that these two girls and these two girls are victims of me because he's found evidence via every WhatsApp chat ever had between me and all my friends that I was assisting them on social media, telling what time to post, telling them how to get big on TikTok, telling them how to get big on any platform that they wanted because I'm the king of social media and everyone asks me these questions. Keep in mind, I do the same thing for my personal trainer, the same thing for my dentist, the same thing for my photographer, but because they're girls, who, by the way, are Romanians who've always lived here, couldn't have been trafficked anywhere, they are alleged victims. So he puts these victims on top, okay? Then he says, well, because they human trafficked these two, these false accusers, they're an organized criminal gang. And he puts this on top. It says they must be an organized criminal gang because they got this girl from America and tried to human traffic her. And because they're an organized criminal gang who human traffics people, there's going to be some money laundering charges on top of this. So as and when this case has been being built up over the months and years, I have been saying I'm falsely accused. And the mainstream media are like, well, yeah, well, he's saying he's falsely accused by these two girls, but why are there so many other charges? Why is the case so big? Why are there so many files? Because the prosecutor, this black thing underneath these cans, the corrupt, dishonest prosecutor who refused to do his job when he knew these two girls were lying, piled all this crap on top of it. So, the mainstream media are now at this position where I'm an organized criminal gang member who human traffics people.